In the second year of our marriage, the doctor gave me a life sentence. Incurable asthenozoospermia. A low sperm count, a biological dead end. My wife, Lily, barely in her 20s and radiant as ever, began to find reasons to avoid intimacy. She claimed it was to protect my pride, to spare me the sting of my condition. I tried to believe her, clinging to the fiction of her kindness, until I saw the open chat on her tablet. The man she was talking to was at least 50, his profile picture a smug selfie that screamed new money. A balding head, a fleshy face, the kind of man who thinks a gold chain is a personality. The messages on the screen were a dagger to my heart. Warren, was I better than your husband last night, little Lily? Lily, of course, Mr. Warren. You'll be the one to get me pregnant, I just know it. Warren, then you make sure he doesn't touch you. This baby has to be ours. Lily, don't worry, I won't let him. I love you. The message ended with a cute, blushing emoji, the kind she had never, not once, sent to me. That evening, I came home late from a meeting. Lily was curled on the sofa, bathed in the blue light of her phone, completely ignoring my presence. She let out a soft giggle, a sound so light and carefree it felt like a betrayal. She looked like a girl in the flush of a new romance. I watched her, the gentle curve of her back turned towards me. This wasn't the first time I'd felt a chasm opening between us. Her tablet lay on the sofa cushion beside her, the screen still lit. She'd forgotten to lock it. The chat window was open, a perfect mirror of the conversation on her phone. I read the words again, the poison sinking deeper. Warren, was I better than your husband last night, little Lily? Lily, of course, Mr. Warren. You'll be the one to get me pregnant, I just know it. Their conversation flowed with the easy intimacy of a long-term couple, punctuated by those playful emojis that were reserved only for him. I clicked on his profile and scrolled through his posts. Pinned to the top was a picture taken in a private cinema. The reflection in the glass beneath the movie screen showed two figures, locked in an embrace on a plush sofa. Though their faces were obscured, I recognized the pleated plaid skirt Lily was wearing. I had bought it for her. It even had the embroidered signature of her favorite celebrity, a detail I had gone to great lengths to get. In the photo, half of that signature was clearly visible. My eyes turned to ice as I saw the location tag, Orchid Cinema. It was right next to her university. The caption read, "A movie day with my darling Lily." I scrolled further. More pictures, more dates, mostly near her campus. On a digital lover's wall for couples to sign, I saw his name scrawled next to hers. Warren and Lily forever. The screen was filled with their sordid little world. The late-night rendezvous, the flirtatious, explicit messages. Lily, who was so reserved with me, was a different person with him, seductive, alluring, alive. A wave of nausea washed over me. Her behavior over the past few months suddenly clicked into place. I carefully placed the tablet back where I found it, moments before she noticed. She emerged from the bathroom later, her face flushed and dewy from a face mask, wearing a loose, semi-transparent pink nightgown that did little to hide the lines of her body. The faint, sweet scent of camellia surrounded her as she came near. A primal surge of desire and desperation coursed through me. I pulled her into my arms, burying my face in her hair. When I tried to deepen the kiss, to reclaim some part of what was mine, her hands flew to my chest, pushing me away. "Liam," she said, her voice sharp. "Do you want me to miscarry another baby?" The words were a slap in the face. "We could be careful, Lily. We could use protection," I countered, my voice tight with suppressed rage. "Protection can fail. You know that," she retorted, her eyes avoiding mine. The image of her fawning over that old man flashed in my mind, and a hot, possessive anger flared within me. I tightened my grip, flipping her onto her. Back on the bed. For a fleeting second, her soft warmth against me was a jolt of electricity, a memory of a time I could no longer recall clearly. "Liam, this is rape," she cried out. "We're married, Lily." I scoffed, letting her go. The absurdity of it all was choking me. "Are you going to call the cops on your own husband?" She scrambled away, clutching the collar of her nightgown, looking flustered and cornered. "Maybe we should look into clinics overseas," she stammered, changing the subject. "I hear they have more advanced procedures." To her, the solution was for me to be cut open in a foreign country, all because I couldn't give her a child. I wasn't incapable of love or passion, just procreation. Was that so unforgivable? My hands clenched the bedsheets, a stone of grief lodging in my chest. "I have to go see my mother at the hospital," she said, her voice softening into a practiced plea. "Next time, okay?" Honey, next time? I thought bitterly. When is next time? I watched her hastily change clothes and flee the apartment. The cold silence she left behind was suffocating. I walked to my home office. The anger now a cold, hard resolve. I opened my laptop and launched the software. A grid of small video feeds appeared on the screen. Miniature cameras. I had installed them months ago. Using motion detection filters, I didn't have to search for long. The evidence of her bringing a man into our home was undeniable. I clicked on the most recent recording from a month ago. The video showed Lily in a slinky, black slip dress. The balding man, Warren, followed her into the living room, his hand already possessively on her shoulder, guiding her towards our bedroom. Her dress slid to the floor, revealing the set of risque lingerie I had bought with her on a rare, happy shopping trip. His hands roamed over the lace, a greedy exploration, before their lips met. They tumbled onto our marital bed, a grotesque dance of betrayal under the smiling, oblivious gaze of our wedding photo on the wall. Crack! My fist slammed into the desk. A sharp, radiating pain shot up my arm, but it was nothing compared to the agony in my chest. A ceramic teacup on the desk rattled and fell, shattering on the floor. I wanted to tear the wedding photo from the wall, to smash it into 1,000 pieces, but my phone buzzed. A voice message from Lily. Honey, my friend's thesis is due tomorrow. I'm going to her dorm to help her edit. I won't be home tonight. I'll bring you breakfast in the morning. Love you. Okay. I texted back, my face a cold mask. I changed my clothes and drove to the hospital. Lily's mother had been there for a week, recovering from an appendectomy. Just as I arrived, I saw Lily walking out of the main entrance. She was wearing a pink sundress, her long hair curled perfectly. She glanced around for a moment before a wide smile broke across her face. She ran to a balding man in casual clothes and looped her arm through his. It was him, Warren. I watched from a distance as they flirted and walked away, disappearing into the night. I recognized him now. He was the director of the fertility clinic she had insisted we visit. I remembered, thinking he was overly friendly at the time. Now I knew why. He wasn't interested in my condition. He was interested in my wife. Lily's gradual withdrawal, her coldness, it all started back then. Lighting a cigarette, I watched the smoke curl into the cold air. A dark, vengeful thought began to take root in my mind. I sent Lily a text, telling her I was worried and was coming to find her, forcing her to abandon her plans and come home. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there, watching the woman sleeping beside me, a stranger who wore my wife's face. Our entire relationship felt like a beautiful, fragile dream that was now shattering. The next morning, Lily was up early, preparing a special breakfast for me. You should head to the office after you eat, she said brightly. I have to get to campus. Okay, be safe, I mumbled, the sight of the food turning my stomach. As soon as she was gone, I scraped the entire lovingly prepared meal into the trash. Back in my office, the sounds from the surveillance footage played on a loop in my head. Warren's voice, rough and demanding. I told you not to let me come here anymore. This is the last time. Lily's voice, a playful pout. Oh, Uncle Warren, but I've missed you so much. It's more exciting at your place, isn't it? You love the thrill. It's Valentine's Day. Look, I bought you a present. A diamond ring. Do you like it? Yes, I love it. Then try it on. Take off your wedding ring. I want to see this one on your middle finger. Warren, don't say that about Liam. He's been good to me. Take it off? What? You can't let go of that useless husband of yours. He's impotent. Not only do I want you to take off the ring, I want you to take off everything. The sound of a slap. Lily's muffled sobs. Warren's voice, suddenly soft. There, baby, I'm sorry. Uncle has a temper. It's okay. You don't have to take it off if you don't want to. Lily's quiet sniffle. Okay, Uncle Warren. She was like a frightened kitten, easily cowed and just as easily soothed, curled up in his arms. I chain-smoked. The memories in the video clips a toxic swirl in my mind. I called my assistant, canceled my meetings for the day, and drove back to the hospital. What? You're saying my daughter brought a man into your home? I calmly recounted the contents of the surveillance video to my mother-in-law. She stared at me with disbelief. Liam, are you making things up just because you can't have children? Are you trying to slander Lily? After everything she's done for you, now that you're successful, you want to throw her away? Not a chance. The evidence is irrefutable, I said, my voice flat. I'm just here to inform you. You won't win this in court. How dare you? Liam, you've really grown some nerve, threatening us. A bitter laugh escaped me. Weren't you the one who tried to stop her from marrying me in the first place? Now that we're ending it, shouldn't you be happy? I leaned closer. Should I give you that old man's number? You two can get acquainted. Don't worry, there won't be an age gap. He might even be older than you. She erupted into a violent coughing fit. And don't forget, she wheezed, recovering slightly. Your sister still works at my husband's firm. He's the one who promoted her every step of the way. You don't think she got that far on her own merits, do you? And what? I'm supposed to just tolerate this? I'm supposed to keep sleeping in the bed she shares with her lover? The words came out like a growl. The thought of it made me want to kill him. Soon, your entire family will be disgraced. You brought this on yourselves. My revenge fantasy was intensely satisfying. When they first found out about my condition, her parents had been relentless with their insults, their taunts of eunuch and impotent. Just last month, she pressed on, her tone softening as she saw my resolve. My husband introduced the son of the deputy director to your sister. They even went on a date for Valentine's Day. Ask her yourself if you don't believe me. Think about it, Liam. Your sister has a bright future, a wonderful marriage ahead of her. Is ruining that really worth it? She saw my hesitation and pushed further. You have this condition, Liam. It's a flaw. You were lucky that our Lily fell for you and married you. What more could you want? So she made a mistake. She's young. Maybe she was just looking for some excitement. You talk to her, she'll change. Is it really necessary to blow this up into such a huge scandal? This isn't about being young or making a mistake. I snapped. And whose fault is it really? If you could have given her a child, would she have ever needed to look elsewhere? As I was about to argue further, my phone buzzed. It was my assistant, with the information I'd asked for on the bald man, Warren. As I listened to the report, a slow, cold smile spread across my face. I loosened my tie and walked briskly out of the hospital. You enjoyed sleeping with my wife, you bastard? I'm going to bury you. On the drive home, Lily called. Where are you? Just at the hospital, checking on your mom. I replied, my voice even. She must have sensed something was off. Is it work? Did my mom give you a hard time again? No, it's nothing. Well, come home soon. I'll make you your favorite noodle soup tonight. I almost smiled. It was our special recipe, a chaotic mix of whatever cheap, on-sale vegetables we could afford when we were first starting out, broke but happy. She used to make it for me every night while I worked late, building my company from nothing. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, she said softly. The hardest days are over, aren't they? Yes, I thought. The hardest days are over. And so are we. The memories of that time were a sharp pain in my chest. I'll be waiting for you at home. Come back soon. Okay. When I pulled into our neighborhood, she was waiting for me downstairs. She wore a white, floral print sundress and a cute beige sun hat, looking every bit the vibrant, youthful girl I had fallen in love with. She ran to me, linking her arm in mine and resting her head on my shoulder. Liam, I'm sorry. I've been neglecting you lately. She looked up at me, her eyes clear and deep. Is everything okay with the company? I looked down into those eyes, the same eyes that once held entire galaxies for me. I gently cupped her face. We smiled at each other, and for a moment, the scene was so perfect, it was as if nothing had ever happened. She had always wanted a child so desperately. Maybe I should have listened to her. Maybe I should have gone abroad for the surgery, and we could have had our baby. We were such a perfect match in so many ways. I was introverted and pessimistic. She was a whirlwind of optimism and energy. She had been my rock, my cheerleader. I wouldn't have succeeded without her. But none of that was an excuse for betrayal. Back home, she had just started bustling in the kitchen when her phone began to ring incessantly. Seeing her anxious expression, I asked, "What's wrong?" She jumped, startled, and quickly silenced the phone, her eyes darting away. "It's my advisor. It's nothing. I'll go see him after I finish making your dinner." My smile froze, but my voice remained steady. "If it's your advisor, you should go. School is important. We can eat another time." "But it's fine. I just remembered I have some work to finish up anyway. You go ahead." "Okay. Well, don't work too hard. I'll make it for you when I get back." "All right." I watched her touch up her makeup and leave, the smile never leaving my face. I knew where she was going. They had discussed it in their online chats. Warren had promised to buy her a home of their own. And today, an auspicious day he had chosen, was their move-in day. The irony was crushing. Today was the anniversary of the day we officially started dating. I pulled out my phone. A new message from Lily. "I'm at school with my advisor now. It's busy. I'll talk to you later." I drove to my office and worked mechanically through the afternoon, my mind a million miles away. Just before closing time, I logged into an old, forgotten social media account, one I had used during my startup days. A burner account that Lily didn't know I still had access to. I opened her profile. She hadn't blocked this account. She had posted 30 minutes ago. If love could be done over, I would want it to be filled with flowers. The picture was of a red property deed with her name on it, lying next to the keys to a luxury car. In the photo, two hands were clasped, both wearing matching diamond rings. Another picture showed Lily from behind, looking out from a balcony at a stunning view. The location tag, Grandeur Gardens, the most exclusive villa community in the city, a place she had dreamed of living in when we got married. Now, her dream had come true. I picked up the divorce papers I'd had drafted weeks ago and drove to Grandeur Gardens. On the way, I made a call. 911, what's your emergency? I'd like to report a rape. By the time I arrived, the police and security were already there. They broke down the villa's front door. The lead officer knocked on the master bedroom upstairs. We could hear laughter from within. I kicked the door open. The scene inside was seared into my brain. Warren was on top of Lily. The white floral dress was crumpled on the floor. She was wearing another piece of shockingly revealing lingerie, her own wedding ring still on her finger. Warren, shirtless and wearing a pair of garish red boxers, stared at us in shock. A volcanic rage erupted in me. I crossed the room in 3 strides, grabbed a fistful of his thinning hair, and slammed my fist into his face. Blood gushed from his nose. Before he could even register what happened, I slapped him across the face, a sharp crack that sent a numbing jolt up my own arm. Lily finally screamed, pulling a duvet around her nakedness. Warren spat out a bloody tooth, howling, "You're trespassing. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police." 2 officers pulled me back before I could strike him again. The lead officer looked at Warren sternly. "Sir, we received a report of a rape. We're going to have to ask you to come with us." "Rape? What rape? We're boyfriend and girlfriend. Is it a crime to go on a date?" Warren bellowed, clutching his face and glaring daggers at me. The officer glanced at me, then at Lily. "Were you a willing participant?" I asked her, my voice low and dangerous, my teeth clenched. Lily looked at me, her eyes pleading. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. We were all taken to the station. I was let off with a verbal warning for the assault, given the circumstances. When Lily was released, I was waiting in the car. She slid into the passenger seat, looking lost and broken. "You knew?" she whispered, her eyes full of a strange, resentful sorrow. "What? Was I supposed to wait until you had his child?" I stared at her disheveled hair, the marks on her neck where the lingerie had been. Without thinking, my hand shot out and I slapped her. It wasn't a hard slap, but the sound was loud in the confines of the car. Her head snapped to the side. She looked at me, her hand flying to her cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief. "My lawyer has already prepared the divorce papers," I said coldly. "Everyone will know exactly why we are getting a divorce." "Liam, do you have to humiliate me like this?" she screamed, tears finally streaming down her face. "After everything we went through? All the hard times I stood by you. Am I humiliating you, Lily? Or did you do this to yourself?" I looked at her, my heart feeling like it was being methodically sliced into ribbons. "You dare to bring up the past?" After my diagnosis, her parents had been merciless, pushing for divorce, hurling insults at me. I had endured it all. Lily had played the part of the devoted wife, caught in the middle, insisting we would find a cure. But I saw the hope dying in her eyes with every failed treatment, every specialist who shook their head. I knew how much she wanted a child. Miraculously, we had one chance. She had gotten pregnant once, accidentally. She was ecstatic, buying mountains of baby clothes and supplies. I dropped everything at work, studying nutrition, even getting a certificate to be the perfect father. My career faltered, planting the seeds for later crises. Then, just as we allowed ourselves to hope, she miscarried. The fetus wasn't viable, a defect caused by my condition. Seeing her wheeled into surgery nearly broke me. Afterwards, I cared for her obsessively. She fell into a depression, spending her days glued to her phone. "Lily, trust me," I had pleaded. "The next one will be healthy. We'll have a healthy baby." She had looked at me with a strange, distant smile. "I know," she had said with conviction. "Don't worry. I will have a healthy baby." I never imagined she meant her baby, not our baby. Warren stormed out of the police station, pounding on my car window. "You piece of trash. You dare to frame me. Let's go, Lily, we're going home." Lily, however, seemed to have regained some composure. She shot me a fearful glance and remained silent. What's wrong with you, Lily? Warren snarled, yanking on her arm. Didn't you hear me? You told me you couldn't stand to be with him anymore. Come on, we'll go back to Grandeur Gardens. I'll buy tickets for Europe tomorrow. She pushed his hand away. You go if you want. I'm going home with my husband. Warren's face contorted with rage. He tried to wrench open the passenger door, but I had already locked it. Warren, what are you doing? Lily cried out, shrinking back. I met his furious gaze, raised the window, reversed the car, and then slammed my foot on the accelerator, aiming directly for him. The 50-year-old man, terrified, stumbled backward and fell. I screeched to a halt just inches from his sprawled body. As I reversed again, I saw a dark, wet patch spreading across the front of his trousers. Is this the man you chose over me, Lily? I sneered. What does he have that I don't? Money. Ignoring his stream of curses, I spun the wheel and sped towards home. Liam, I'm sorry, I was wrong, she pleaded, panicked now that she saw I was serious. It was just a game. I was being foolish. Please, forgive me. She begged and cried the entire way home, grabbing at my arm. She seemed so young, so naive. 7 years we had known each other. The memories flickered past my eyes, the small joys, the shared fears, the taste of cheap noodles, and the thrill of a signed contract. The 7-year itch. It had finally claimed us. They say love can't survive poverty, but we had weathered the storm and found our rainbow. And yet, here we were. Was this the price for the happiness we once had? Was this love, a love that our families and friends had all warned us against, something I was never meant to possess in the first place? Lily finally agreed to the divorce, but not on my terms. She couldn't bear the public scandal. I refused to budge. In a fit of rage, she smashed everything in our apartment. Liam, if you ruin me and my family, I'll kill you, she screamed, breathless and crazed. She grabbed a knife from the kitchen block and advanced on me. I stood my ground, watching her approach, a bitter smile on my lips. An overwhelming exhaustion washed over me. Was this how it was going to end? But then, her hand slackened. The knife clattered to the floor. A wicked, cunning smile replaced her fury. Fine, Liam. You want to see me shamed for having an affair? Let's see how much better you are. As she spoke, I felt a strange heat spreading through my body. The glass of water she had given me when I first walked in. You drugged me. She didn't answer, just watched me with that chilling smile as the world began to tilt and fade, leaving only a primal, burning desire. When I woke, it was the middle of the night. The bedroom was a wreck. Sheets torn from the bed, her clothes scattered everywhere. I vaguely remembered her. Fighting me, her desperate resistance. I rubbed my throbbing temples. Angry red scratches, souvenirs of our struggle, crisscrossed my arms and chest. Lily was sitting at her vanity, fully dressed, her hair combed. She was holding a small USB drive. Did you really think I didn't know about the cameras you installed, Liam? She said with a cold laugh. I can't believe it came to this. She held up the drive. This contains a video of you forcing yourself on me tonight. Now, I can send you to prison whenever I want. My mind went blank. The woman I had adored, the woman I had built my life around, was a stranger. A fire of pure, agonizing pain burned through me. Lily, you are despicable. In the warm light of the room, our eyes met. I saw the same desolation in hers that I felt in my own. A wave of dizziness hit me, and for a second, I saw her as she was years ago, smiling under a tree in her white dress. I saw us sharing our first mango smoothie, writing our vows on a napkin. I saw all the nights she gave herself to me, the lunches she brought to my office, the surprise visits I made to her school. The memories, like ivy torn from a wall, left behind raw, bleeding marks on my soul. The divorce proceedings entered the mandatory cooling-off period. Our marriage was over in all but name. Neither of us went back to that apartment. It remained a mausoleum of our love, filled with shattered glass and broken dreams. Lily moved back to her dorm, or perhaps to her villa in Grandeur Gardens. My business, neglected for so long, was on the brink of collapse. The only good news came from my assistant, who had finally gathered concrete evidence of Warren's illegal medical supply business. A month later, just as I was preparing to enact my revenge, I got a call from my mother-in-law. Lily was pregnant. I drove to her parents' house in a daze, demanding to know whose child it was. She laughed, a sound devoid of any warmth. It's your child, of course, but he will only ever be the child of a rapist. Now, you agree to a divorce on the grounds of your infidelity and leave with nothing, or I will drink this entire bottle of abortion pills right now. Lily, how can you be so cruel? That's your child too. I yelled, trying to get closer, but her father blocked my path. After the initial shock, a chilling calm settled over me. I was finally accepting that the woman before me was not my wife. How do you know it's mine? I challenged. We had one night. How long have you been sleeping with that bastard? Oh, you think so? Go check my bedside table. I was taking birth control pills behind his back the entire time. There's no way I could be pregnant with his child. You expect me to believe you? Believe what you want, she sneered, holding the bottle of pills to her lips. The day this baby is born is the day you go to prison. She took a step towards me, her smile venomous. You always wanted to be a father, didn't you? So what's it going to be, Liam? Your freedom, or your child? Well, Daddy. Looking at her vicious, triumphant face, I laughed. It was a laugh born of pure, unadulterated rage. In one swift movement, I lunged forward, grabbed the bottle, and shoved it against her mouth, forcing the pills down her throat until her father tore me away. Lily, stunned, choked and coughed, having swallowed more than half the pills. Liam, you murderer. I'm calling the police, she shrieked. Go ahead, I said, holding up my hands. My fingerprints aren't on the bottle. You're the one who wanted to drink it. I spat on the floor and walked away from that house, from that family, from that entire, disgusting chapter of my life. Back in my own empty, wreckage-strewn apartment, my father called. I heard Lily is pregnant again. How did you know? Oh, son, we're all family. How could news this big stay a secret? Listen, your sister is up for another promotion, and her father-in-law-to-be, the deputy director, is very pleased with her. He even visited us the other day. Get to the point, Dad, I said, my voice weary. He was always so transparently opportunistic, his concern always revolving around my sister. Your uncle's business is in a rough patch, he continued. So he went to Lily's father for help again. He pulled some strings, got a project approved. So you need to be nice to them, you understand? You have to save this baby, even if it's born with defects. I hear her father is getting another promotion soon. You need to hold on to that connection. I gripped the phone, my knuckles white. Why is Uncle always going to him? What does our child have to do with propping up his business? When I was struggling, my own father had never offered a word of support. But for his relatives, he expected me to grovel. Why are you being so stubborn? Lily is young, beautiful, and her family is powerful. Do you think you'll find someone better? Now she's carrying your child. What are you so angry about? I closed my eyes, unsure if I was drowning in sorrow or rage. Dad, we're getting a divorce. What? Why? What about your sister? Are you trying to ruin your sister's life? I hung up the phone and collapsed onto the bed, completely drained. What if it really was my child? The uncertainty was a torment. I looked at the empty space beside me on the bed. A framed photo of us from a trip to the coast was still on her nightstand. I suddenly realized that I had been neglecting her for a long time too. When was the last time we had truly connected? I picked up the photo. On an impulse, I pulled open her bedside drawer. My breath caught in my throat. It was filled with empty blister packs of long-term contraceptives. I called her number. No answer. I drove to the best hospital in the city. When I found her, she had already had the procedure. She was pale, propped up against the pillows, her mother spoon-feeding her porridge. I threw the empty pill boxes onto her bed. Her eyes widened for a second, then she began to laugh, a wild, unhinged sound. Isn't it funny, Liam? The child you dreamed of, you killed with your own hands. I left the empty boxes in the drawer from the very first day, just to see when you'd finally notice. But you never did you? You're such a good husband, Liam. If you had paid even half the attention to me that you used to, you would have found them. This is all your fault. You destroyed our marriage, our child, everything. It was you. I looked away, unable to meet her gaze. That's still no excuse for cheating on me. I threw the signed divorce agreement onto the bed. It's over, Lily, I said calmly. I'll leave with nothing. We're done. I don't remember how I walked out of that hospital. The world outside was gray and overcast, threatening rain. Let it rain, I thought. Let it wash everything away. Back home, I sent my assistant the file on Warren's illegal activities. I dissolved my failing company and drove to the coast, alone. The winter sea was cold and unforgiving. The water churned, gray and angry, but it did not freeze. It was our wedding anniversary. We had promised to come here every year on this day. I sat in a cafe in a small guest house, watching the snow fall over the beach. I could see the bench in the yard where we sat on our honeymoon, during our first year of marriage. We had come here when we first started dating, too, like a pair of runaway lovers, and had carved our names into the wall of the guest house. along with hundreds of others. Lily loves Liam forever. I found it immediately, a small inscription amidst a sea of promises. I asked the owner for a fork. I walked to the wall, intending to scratch my name out, to erase that promise from existence. Just as the metal tine was about to touch the wood, a commotion erupted at the entrance. A man was shouting, hitting a woman. I looked over. It was Lily. She was a wreck, her hair matted, her clothes filthy. Her eyes, wild with panic, scanned the room and finally locked with mine. There were fresh bruises on her face. I looked at her, my face a mask of indifference, and started to turn away. But she lunged at me, grabbing my arm, her voice a desperate plea. Liam, please, can we not get divorced? He beats me. Please, save me. Warren, his face purple with rage, stormed in after her. You bitch. You took all my money and then aborted my child. I'll kill you. I told you, the baby wasn't yours. It wasn't yours. Why do you think I wanted you? It was to have a beautiful child. What other use are you? Get over here. He grabbed a fistful of her once beautiful hair and slammed her down onto a table, tearing at her clothes. You liked being a slut before, didn't you? Don't play innocent with me now. I'll show you. I just shook my head and muttered, you get what you deserve. I glanced up at the security camera in the corner of the room. I had been cooperating with the police for weeks, and they had told me the net was closing. Other patrons were finally reacting, reaching for their phones, but before they could dial, the police were already at the door. Who's the manager here? One of them asked, holding up a photo. I am, the owner replied. Have you seen this man? The owner pointed towards Warren, who was still savagely tearing at Lily's clothes. That's him. He's right there. He's causing trouble. Officers, please, get them out of here. Two officers moved swiftly to subdue Warren. Lily was left trembling, her clothes in tatters, her eyes, red and swollen, fixed on me. An older officer approached Warren. Warren Chun, he said, his voice hard. You're under arrest for suspicion of smuggling illegal medical equipment and the manufacturing and sale of counterfeit medical products. You need to come with us. What? No. You're framing me. It's a setup. I have money. I'll pay you. Just don't arrest me, he babbled. The officer then turned to Lily. And you are Lillian, Mr. Chin's mistress, correct? You are also under suspicion for your involvement in multiple instances of large-scale money laundering. You'll need to come with us as well. I watched them both being led away. The cafe staff quickly righted the tables and chairs. I walked back to the wall and with the fork, carefully scraped my name away. Then I bought a copy of the security footage from that day and sent it to my loyal assistant. A few days later, the news broke. The police had dismantled an entire criminal enterprise, all thanks to the arrest of Warren Chun. The internet was also buzzing with a viral video of the daughter of a high-ranking official being beaten by her sugar daddy. The clip was, of course, from the cafe. Lily's father was investigated, and a massive web of corruption and bribery was uncovered. The fall of the family was swift and spectacular. Because I had never asked him for a single favor, I was untouched by the scandal. In fact, the publicity brought unexpected attention to my old company. Several investors approached me, urging me to relaunch my projects. I declined them all. Before I could rebuild my career, I needed to rebuild my life. I stayed by the sea for 2 weeks. On my last evening, I walked out into the blizzard to visit a famous local landmark, a shipwreck. It was an old, rusted vessel, beached on the shore, a monument of quiet desolation. I stood on the shore, facing it for a long, long time. In that moment, feeling the profound solitude of the world, it was as if I had finally woken from a long and turbulent dream. Night fell, but I kept waiting. Until, in the distance, the lighthouse beam cut through the darkness, painting a slow, deliberate arc across the sea.